Today, I'm going to be going through how to format an APA style paper. So here, I have a paper that I'm currently working on, and I'm just going to work to make it a little bit better APA format. So what I like to do, I go to Liberty University. So I will go to their website generally, right? So I search it on Google. You can go back through here, and I find it, right? I go APA format, guide, or whatever, type in Liberty, click on this, the Success Center, and they give out a free template you can download, and I have this downloaded. It's right here. You can see it. So you download it, you open it up, and it looks a little something like this. All right, so here it is, right? You just plug and chug. What's the name of your paper? All that kind of stuff. So what do I do? What do I put for the name of my paper? Well, generally what I do is I take my assignment, which I have right here, right? This is my assignment. Case study firefighters repeated exposure assignment, right? So here it is. I will literally just take this, paste it in. Now you gotta be careful. This is all in caps, so obviously I had to change it so it's not all in caps. This is all in caps. So when you do your header, it's all in caps. Your title, not in caps. All right. You don't need to do this part. You don't need to do this part. I doubt you'll have any conflicts. You do have to do this bottom part right here. This is super important. Make sure you are doing this. All right. Now you don't have to do an abstract for most of my papers unless I have you do like a super long final paper. Probably won't have you do. You don't need an abstract, all right? Anything like 5-6 pages, you might need an abstract, all right? Or if you're doing a research paper, all right? Title of paper, again, and then you start typing the body, okay? So let's go over and you take a look at mine, all right? So we go down here, start going through it, okay? Also, this is not case sensitive. Email's not case sensitive, so you can capitalize it. I have a habit of capitalizing the first letter all the time. Anyway, moving on. So as you go through this, you see all this, properly capitalized, all capitalized. Very cool. Now, this is actually a lecture that was given. So one of the things that you can do to show that you're relatively competent and good at your work is that you are going to refer back to exactly what the teacher told you. So if I go over here, this is the lecture from my teacher. It's a little video. You can go through it. Talks a lot, does all this different stuff, right? Now, what I can do is sometimes I can enable the captions, and I could also go here and I could download them. So you can download the transcript, and then you can plug it into GPT and be like, hey, GPT, what is the APA? Or sometimes if you go into information, it'll be right here. They give you all the information you need to cite it. All right, so right in here, we have all the stuff that we need to cite the paper properly. All right, it helps us out. Now, let's say we didn't have that. Sometimes it won't let me select it, which is unfortunate. But then you can just take a screenshot of it and have GPT read it off. I'm a huge fan of using GPT, if you haven't picked up on that, for citation. It just makes everything so much easier, right? It does all the heavy lifting for you as far as putting the author's name and the dates and the commas and all the other stuff so that you don't have to. But why do we use citations? Why do we use all that stuff? Is because it conveys a sense of competency. I'm not going to listen to what you say if you can't competently follow the rules, right? That's basically what the idea behind different formats are. It's like, well, we'll see how well you follow the rules. And if you can't follow the rules, why would I listen to your ideas? Now, it seems a little bit, maybe derivative to say that. But that's how things work. It's like a lot of people will just be like, well, your format's off. I'm not even going to read your paper. So make sure that you get the format right. Here's how you do it. All the stuff already comes plugged and chugged. All you got to do is just put in your stuff. Okay, so here it is. And then your first paragraph, you're going to introduce everything that you're going to talk about. So for me, I'm talking about the hazards of exposure for this one. Like, what are you doing if you're a firefighter? How much are you carrying, right? 25 kilograms, right? Your heart rate's going to be reaching 90% or more all the time, right? It's pretty intense work. Then I go through, how do you support this? How would I mitigate these strategies and all these other things? So basically what you want to do in your paper is have a gradual progression or a logical progression of ideas. One of the things you can do is, if you're like, man, I don't know how to tackle this problem, go ahead, reach out to GPT, maybe like make me an outline for this. How would I make a good argument for this? You can search other papers that are related to it and see how they outlined it, right? So I could go look at different research articles, right in here. I could see how they introduced them, methods and materials, what things they talked about, what things they thought were important, okay? And that helps a lot too. So you can go ahead and take a look at all these different people, what they wrote, how they introduced it, what they put in their discussions and how they introduced in their discussions, and then you can decide how you're going to do your paper. One of the things you have to make sure that you're doing when you're writing a paper is that you're using your own ideas. All right, so One of the ways that you convey that you're using your own ideas is the novelty in the way that you introduce your argument, right? It should be logical, but it should be novel, right? So one of the things I don't want to see is like when I'm grading papers in here that I see, like if everybody was talking about this, they immediately start with supporting performance, right? If everybody immediately starts with supporting performance, I'm gonna be like, what the heck's going on here? Like, why is everybody choosing that first, right? You could have chose hydration and fluid balance, but everybody chose this first. That's gonna make me question where everybody got it from, if they collaborated, all those kind of things, right? So make sure that you're conveying your unique ideas and that you're not using AI to the part where it is taking over the novelty or your voice. Okay, so things I wouldn't let it do. You'll see on here I don't have Grammarly on. I used to have Grammarly. I used to have a bunch of stuff on here to help me write. And one of the things is I got flagged for AI one time. I was like, oh no. Like I didn't use AI. I was just using Grammarly. Well, it can correct it to such a point that the computer cannot tell the difference between AI generated and stuff it's helped you with, because it'll smooth it out to, like, let's say it makes your paper as smooth as glass, right? Everything's super smooth. It can't tell what it was before. It can only tell that there's no errors in it now, and human beings make errors. They have changes in their voice. So like right here, overwork, right? That's one word. Okay. If you continually smooth this out and you don't allow any errors, end up in a little bit of trouble, because now it's too smooth and the computer can't tell if it's written by a human or not. So some things like this right here, that's my voice. Okay. And I'm going to leave that. Okay. I'm not saying like leave errors, but leave some things that could be smoothed out to keep your voice. You don't want it to just sound completely 100% polished. You want a little bit of something in there that's your tone, your voice, whatever. Now, let's say you do get accused of using AI or anything like that in the future. Most of you are going to college, and if you're not, you should learn how to protect yourself and show how things are uniquely your ideas. So you have this, all right, the autosave, all right? Make sure your autosave is on. All right, we'll save this here. Just boop, turn that puppy on. Okay, I gotta log in to do it, but, right, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to change this around a little bit. But anyway, what I want you guys to do, turn that autosave on. Just boop, it's on. Now they can see anytime you copy or paste or whatever, they can go back through all the undos, right? You go see this right here. I can see every mistake you've made, all the stuff you've done, right? And this tells me if you were copy and pasting or not, right? It gives me an indication of whether or not you've cheated, and that's what your professors are going to use too, right? So when I ran into this trouble, I had this on, thank God, right? And it allowed me to prove my innocence. And I do want you guys to remember this. In a college setting, you have to prove your innocence. You are not presumed innocent until guilty. It's not a court of law. They're going to say, hey, you cheated, prove that you're innocent. That's how you prove you're innocent. I don't necessarily know how to do it on Google Docs, but you can do it on Google Docs. That's something you should do. Now I'm going to scroll down here and we'll finish this video up. I know it's taken 10 minutes or so, but look at your references. So it's bolded, it's in the center, and then over here, this is wonky, right? So when you look at these move around. So generally they're going to be formatted like this. They're going to be just straight up and down. And so what you have to do, select all of it, select this whole thing, and you're going to be like, hey, we're going to make this be all fancy. Don't grab the little one. You want to grab the big one. So if you do grab a little one, that's okay. Grab that big one, pull it over to here, and then take this one and make sure it's aligned with that slightly grayed out area. All right, that's a 1/4 inch indent. There you are. You're all set. Everything looks nice and pretty. And so this is so you can count the authors. Your authors also have to be in alphabetical order, right? B, C, I almost put an exact opposite. But anyway, you'll have to organize this later. Generally what I do is as I'm working myself through the paper, you'll see that my references are in order on here, and that's just because I worked in AMA instead of APA for a long time. But that's just the way I do things. I just put them in the order that I found them, and then I organize it later. Your references are super important. Make sure you have them in there. These links don't always have to be hyperlinked. All right, that's fine. If you're like, oh, it's not glowing blue or anything like that, you don't have to do that. In fact, sometimes you can get points marked off if it is doing that, right? They want it like this, but if you put a space by accident, there you go, right? So that's why they're glowing. And if you don't want them glowing, you just simply hit delete. Right, hit delete on one of those. So we delete the 8. Let's say we just go like, boop, boop. I'll spend too much time on this. Let me go right here. We just hit delete, type the 8. Now it's back in there. But anyway, you can just do it by just deleting a space generally, and that'll make it go away. Or you can just delete these whole things out of there. So, all right, the one thing I don't want to delete is this one. All right, so this is the link from my teacher's lecture that I was referencing in the first part here. That one I am going to need a hyperlink because it exists nowhere else other than that particular Canvas page in that setting or whatever. So if you're referencing me, you can reference YouTube, right? And then you just use your YouTube link into here, okay? And GPT will help you work that out. I highly suggest using Citation Machine and any kind of AI to help you generate APA and then make sure it's right. So ask it what the format is, have it input the format, and then double check it, because I cannot tell you how many times I've done that and it's been wrong. So AI will lie to you. So you got to make sure that you're making it do its due diligence and that you're checking it with, you know, the actual APA citation stuff. Okay. Otherwise, you just have to bite the bullet on the grade you're going to get there. But yeah, so works out pretty well. Now, generally, when you're in college classes, what they'll do is they'll provide a rubric. So that's something I'll do as well. So we take a look at this one. Here are your instructions. I always give you instructions. And then generally what they do is they'll have a rubric. So I'll work on getting you guys a rubric for all of your stuff. For this first paper that I'm doing, I'm not providing a rubric because it's just crawl, walk, run. I am just basically teaching you guys how to use APA so that I can grade you using APA. I don't want you ever to show up to school and be like, nobody ever taught me, or nobody ever told me this or that, right? I'm teaching you how to do all the things that I wasn't taught to do in school so that you guys end up coming out better and ahead. Okay, APA is a format that is used a lot. AMA is also used a lot, all right? And you will use it in anything related to biology or medicine, all right? A lot of your sciences will use it. So it's good that you get exposed to it now. Now, some of these, you'll look at this, like 99% of the requirement is read. So like you have to have all your ducks in a row, or else you can get like really a couple of errors. If you have 3 or more errors, you can get a 0 on this, okay? So it's pretty rough. More than 3 spelling grammar errors, okay? So I don't think I'll be nearly as stringent. I'll probably say up to 5, right, for you guys, but this is a big thing going forward. Like you literally will get a third of the paper off if you mess that up. So make sure you guys are paying attention to what you're doing. That attention to detail will serve you well in other aspects of life. And now you know a good place that you can go get a general format. And I would just save this to your desktop. Like I have this saved on my desktop. I have it saved in my downloads. I have it saved in a lot of places, and I still know where to find it on the internet all the time because we'll re-download it a whole bunch of times depending on what classes I'm taking. So I highly suggest you guys make use of this free available source, right? And you can see even in here it's properly formatted. So all you have to do is copy and paste your references into there. So hopefully this helps you guys figure out APA format. For your references, if you're doing like a personal reflection, you just have your references page, but it'll just be blank, right? So if you're not using references, you don't have to have a reference page. Again, you should almost always have a title page, and that doesn't count towards your total page volume like in any class ever. So never ask that. But anyway, hope you guys found this informative. If you have any questions, send me an email.